Kimberly, explain to us why this is a narrow ruling and why this may not satisfy everybody that's been following this case so closely over the last year plus.
Well, that's right. As you mentioned, this was a very narrow ruling, and this is one of the many cases that we expected the court to be pretty divided on this term, but actually comes down as a 7-2 opinion, and that's because the court didn't really grapple with the big issue about whether or not free exercise rights to practice your religion freely can be impinged by a state's anti-discrimination laws. It said that that may be the case, but in this case, the commission that considered those issues didn't consider them in a neutral way, and said the court found that the commission had shown hostility towards religion, and that's the basis on which they threw out the lower court's ruling.
Now, it's a fascinating ruling. We'll get to the actual content of the ruling in a second, but this overall decision, does it allow now for a new case to be brought and perhaps eventually for the Supreme Court to actually take up those issues?
Well, that's right. The court hints at the fact that there will be a number of other issues, just like this one, coming to the court. And actually, there are a number waiting in the wings involving florists and photographers. So this will not be the last that we hear of this issue.
Justice Anthony Kennedy wrote for the court. Anything that we should know in his comments?
Well, Justice Kennedy, this was a pretty tough case for him because he has been the court's leader in writing decisions on gay rights, but he's also a very big defender of religion. And so this really put him to the task. But he was able to find a narrow way to rule in favor of the baker here. And he really showed a lot of concern at oral arguments at what he saw as hostility towards religion in the commission's comments. So I think that that's really where Justice Kennedy was able to make his decision.